Alrighty, so we have Sean Strickland versus Krzysztof's Jotko. Alright, so Jotko, he is coming off a 12-month layoff. I think he last fought against Eric Anders. He's on a 3-fight win streak though. He's done well. He was on a bit of a losing streak. He's turned it around. He's now on a 3-fight win streak. Sean Strickland, he moved up to 185 quite recently. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good at the weight class. He's put a bit of a run together himself. And if you look at his record, it's pretty impressive. Like I think he's like 9-3 or something in the UFC. His only losses coming to Santiago Ponzinibbio, Zaleski dos Santos, and Kamaru Usman. So they're all elite fighters. So there's no shame in losing to them. So quite a good record. In the stand-up, Jotko, he's a southpaw, likes to use a lot of footwork, likes to use a lot of movement on the outside. When his opponent does close distance, he'll look for the check right hook or the lead uppercut. He'd go for a spinning back fist or an elbow, just try to intercept the opponent as they're closing distance. Sean Strickland, he's more of a boxer. He likes to stand pretty tall. Pretty much everything is following the jab. Everything is pretty much down the pipe. He never really overextends on anything, never goes crazy going for a big overhand right or a big left hook or anything like that. Everything is pretty much straight down, snapping jab, 1-2, 1-2. He will follow up the 1-2 with a 3 at times, but mostly it's the 1-2. And when he's on the back foot, it's mostly just the jab. And I would say he has the power advantage over Jotko. I mean, I think a lot of people have the power advantage over Jotko. He has pretty much zero power in his hands. And I think he has the speed advantage over Jotko as well. And it also helps that everything he throws is down the pipe. And a lot of the stuff that Jotko throws is looping. Coming around wide. So, yeah. He's going to be beating him to the punch quite often. But where Jotko can make it interesting is if he looks to get into the clinch. He has nice offense in the clinch. He'll go for dirty boxing uppercuts, knees in the clinch. He also has nice offense off the clinch break. He'll go for a knee to the head off the clinch break. Just a right hook off the clinch break. What Sean Strickland does as well that I'm not huge on is that his head doesn't move at all when he is on the feet. Also, he has problems defending leg kicks, doesn't really check them. Very heavy on the lead leg because he likes to pop out the jab. The southpaw vs orthodox dynamic is definitely going to help him here because the low calf kick won't be open for Krzysztof Jotko. But yeah, it's just something to watch out for in the future. And for Jotko, he isn't perfect on the feet either by any means. He dips his head pretty much every time he enters the pocket. Mostly he's looking to enter the clinch or look for a takedown, but he kind of telegraphs his intentions when he does dip his head, when he does get in close. And on the back foot, he will lean back with his chin in the air, which can get him caught. He's been caught a few times just leaning back. Right, Jotko, he also can mix it up, use his wrestling. He's got a nice single leg. He'll look to turn the corner from there, take the back. And once he is in that clinch-like situation, he will look for throws, trips in the clinch, like the outside leg trip off the single leg. But yeah, the lateral drop that he uses in the clinch, or the sacrifice throw that he uses in the clinch, hasn't got the greatest technique, and often he will try and cheat the finish, as they say, and pretty much pull the opponent on top of himself, so he can roll over once they do hit the mat. But yeah, he's just not quick enough sometimes, and he just kind of pulls his opponent on top of him, and then boom, he's in bottom position. So yeah, it's just not the greatest thing. But he does have good scrambles on the mat and in, 50-50 positions. So I'll give him that. But yeah, it's just a dangerous technique that he uses. Alright, so how these guys win fights. So for Strickland, he has a nice jab. He has good takedown defense. And he has good volume and good pacing. He can keep a solid pace. I'd say he has the cardio advantage in this one. Jotko has had problems with his cardio before. But yeah, Jotko has good takedown defense as well. He has good movement on the outside. He's good at making opponents fight his type of fight, which is kind of a low volume, lots of movement on the outside, lots of clinch work. And when he's able to control the fence clinch and let off his clinch offense, that's probably when he's doing his best. That's when he's making it his type of fight. Alrighty, so yeah, how these guys lose. So for Jotko, he's not a finisher. He has one finish in his 9 UFC wins, so 8 of them he's won by decision. And yeah, like if he's down the scorecards, he's probably not going to get a finish in round 3, he just doesn't have that ability. So it is troubling, you know, when you do get down the scorecards. Probably pretty safe when you're versing Jotko and up on the scorecards. Also, he slows after 2 rounds. He's good at fighting through fatigue, though, because he does fight a lot in the clinch, which he can get some valuable recovery time in the clinch and just kind of rest or just press the opponent against the cage. He also has poor striking defense, and his striking tendencies that we discussed before get him in trouble a lot in his fights. I don't think his chin's necessarily that bad, I just think his striking defense is bad, and that's what gets him caught quite a bit. For Sean Strickland, I think his striking defense is arguably worse than Jotko's. He will like lean back with his chin in the air, doesn't move his head at all. Yeah. And, you know, he'll reach for leg kicks. Opponents, good kickboxers could absolutely go to the head against him. And, yeah, he has trouble defending leg kicks as well. But I just think he's a really bad KO waiting to happen, especially at middleweight, where these guys pretty much all pack a punch. I think with the way he defends strikes and how he keeps his head straight up and doesn't move it at all, I think he's a bad KO waiting to happen. Alright, so path to victory for these two. For Jotko, so look for the inside leg kicks, the outside leg kicks at distance. He's had trouble with the leg kicks before. Look for the body kick and the high kick. They'll be open with the southpaw versus orthodox dynamic that you got. And obviously look to get it into the clinch. Look for, you know, look to make it your own type of fight. Look for the clinch elbows, clinch knees. Just look to make it pretty ugly. And, you know, look for takedowns. If you do want to mix it up in the clinch, just pace yourself with the takedowns. If it's going to gas you out, just keep it in the clinch. Or if you're having success controlling him in the clinch, just chill out and relax in there. For Sean Strickland, look to punish him off the clinch break because he does keep his hands low. So look for the straight right or the right hook off the clinch break and look to really punish him for clinching up. Also, just on the feet, look to follow the jab with a 2 or another jab just to get into range. Just because he does lean back, and he will be leaning back to evade that jab. He doesn't slip punches, he just looks to lean backwards. So yeah. And also, when he's going to be close in distance, when he does dip, or when he does anticipate the clinch when you're in close quarters, look for that uppercut. I think you can catch him with that. Alright, so how I see the fight playing out. Alright, so yeah, not gonna lie, I don't have the greatest read on this one. I think I just have general trouble just breaking down Jotko's fights because, you know, he gets people to fight his type of fight very often. And his type of fight is very ugly, very, maybe not the most exciting to watch. So, but yeah, is Strickland going to play into that? He is the better striker. He has good takedown defense. It's just, can he get away from the clinch and can he keep the volume up so that Jotko doesn't just out-volume on the feet with just, you know, just hustling a little bit more than Strickland, because Strickland is the better striker and, you know, probably could knock Jotko out. I could see that absolutely. So, yeah, I just don't have the greatest read on it, and Jotko is just incredibly awkward fighter, incredibly hard to fight, gets people to fight his own fight very often, so it's hard to really be confident in his opponent at times, unless they're levels above him, and I don't think Strickland is levels above him. So yeah, I think I will predict Strickland to win. I do think he finishes Jotko. I'm not confident though, and I do think it's around 55-45 in favour of Sean Strickland, but yeah, I'm not confident. Alright, let's have a look at the betting lines anyway. Alright, so sorry to all the people with OCD, but I couldn't line up the the two tabs, so yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, I do think Strickland wins by KO, but I think the line is a little bit high on Jotko. I do think he has a bit more of a chance than the line is indicating, and he is very good at making people fight his type of fight. But, you know, one prop I'd maybe look at would be Strickland by KO instead of just playing his money line, because Jotko has been finished quite a bit in the UFC, and I think most of his losses in the UFC, and Strickland does have a bit of power. So, yeah, that'd probably be what I'm looking at, but I'm not really looking to bet this fight, honestly.